Welcome to Austin, Texas. This 3.42-mile road course has been around since 2012, but has quickly become a fan favorite to all, with its unique characteristics such as the long front straightaway going uphill and into a tight turn one, then working through the S's and finding another long back straightaway, then rounding around the carousel, and over is a giant observation deck for all to see at the Circuit of the Americas. Hi, and welcome all to the Area Lodgebox Series, race number 10 of Season 2. I'm Hunter Sleppy, your no, Harold Darner's the executive producer. I'm Hunter Sleppy, the lead announcer. Almost botched that one. Harold, how are you?
Well, you're trying to change yourself from the lead announcer to the executive announcer. Like promoting yourself.
Yeah, self-promotion, I guess. But how are you, man? How's everything been this week? I don't know about you, but I've really enjoyed the racing throughout COTA.
It's been an interesting thing. We had school was in session Tuesday night.
Yeah, indeed, and the class of the field that Tuesday is in this race right now. Travis Beckner. I mean, it was kind of obvious. Well, at least to me, it was kind of obvious because he was putting in the work. As early as Tuesday morning. I mean, I know he's done it in previous days before, but I just remember waking up at like literally 8 o'clock in the morning and just seeing him in the Discord. I'm like, oh, what are you doing in the Discord? Because school's out for him, so he's putting his time and effort into this. And I mean, it worked out Tuesday night. I really don't know what he's going to do tonight. I know he put in a lot of work for the truck series, but the Xfinity cars, I'm not too sure. But I'm almost certain that he'll be up there. But you got guys like Cameron Hearn and James Scioli that are just a bit ahead of them. Scioli currently quickest with a 2:15.7, but Beckner is one to still keep an eye on. Even though we're in a different car, he's still the same. Oh, don't want to do that. Good to get it out during the race. He's just going to full throttle it. Oh! Yeah. Hopefully we don't see him do that during the race, but he is still one to keep an eye on during the race. Harold, who do you got your eye on?
This guy right here, James Scioli, has the highest official I rating for road courses amongst the drivers in tonight. And he's always seems to know where to be to be in the hunt for the win.
Yeah, he was up there in the Cup Series this past Monday. Jake Nichols wound up taking a victory in that, but it was him and Nicholas Johnston for the most part, and then different pit strategies come in. Those two stayed out, and they tried to work their way through the field after the competition yellow, which we'll have in tonight's race also. But he had some practice over Monday with the next gen car, and he's going to transition that into what he did, or he's going to transition into what he did Monday night and try to lock up a W for tonight's race. And speaking of tonight's race, we had a race last week at Charlotte, and a little recap video of what you might have missed. Pace car going to make his way onto pit road. Going to be Chris Seinfeld. Oh, nope, not Chris Seinfeld. Colin Fambro on the bottom. David Weishart on the outside. We're going to lead the field to the green flag here. We're underway from Rockingham. Yep. Pace car made its way down pit road. Going to be Brody Hayes and Cameron Hearn leading the field to the green flag here at Charlotte. And Elwood made the pass on Brody Hayes in the 37, and now he is closing in on the leader Cameron Hearn, as there might be a problem with that number 50. He's going to wait. Oh, he's got a little bit too close there. Oh, they made contact back there. It was Rick Christensen, the 19.
And they're going to still be green, though. But yeah, that was trying to go 3 wide with the car that wasn't all the way up against the wall. And update from race control. The number 50 has been disqualified for not maintaining pace speed.
Yep, so the 22 and the 84 have called it a night. And the caution's out.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Fambro, Santo, and James Lipster.
Well, the 7 still keeping up a strong fight. Oh, we got a spin. A car spinning off turn 4 and through the grass. That's going to bring out the caution again. So it's the number 13 car.
But yeah, we have had, and then we had NASCAR personality. I'm going to mess her name up. You got to help me.
Jesse Punch.
Jesse Punch, yeah, for the All-Star race.
Oh, contact in the back. We got cars in the wall. Cars got into the outside wall, a little too close there, coming out of turn 2. Trying to go back and look who saw. It was a green car right there, and they're still trying to keep that car straight. I believe that was Danny Ware. It was the black car. It might have been Ricky Harden that got close to the turn 2 wall, and the caution's out. So another caution here
Danny
from
Ware
Charlotte
and Brody
Speedway.
Hayes.
So those two have nearly 3 wide there with the 45 for the first time on the older tires. Everyone else behind is on newer tires. Cap sideways.
The 52-51.
Carter Coop and Christopher Tate into the inside wall. Caution's going to come back out here in Charlotte. Boy, all sorts of chaos there on the restart, from sign fighting to Caps with a nice save off turn 2. Boy, if you're Alan Elwood and victory is this close, especially after missing last week at Rockingham, do you go for the lead?
I don't know.
Well, never mind. He's going for the lead right there. He had a big enough run off the corner, and he's looking underneath the 94 of Davey Hendricks, and he will take over the lead. We're coming to 6 to go at Charlotte.
I don't think those are team orders, and he's the boss, so I knew we talked to the VRA, and caution is out yet again, and this will be an unofficial green-white checkered before we go to our actual.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a green-white checker to sell it out here from Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Alan Elwood win. What about Davey Hendricks? Shane Therian might have a shot. Bryce Senesac also could put himself in a position to win. Here we go, green flag flying for the final time at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Therian had a wheel hop, was able to put the brakes on it to get it to square back out, which slowed Weishart on that inside line.
Big jump there for Elwood.
Senesac.
Here comes Senesac looking to the inside of Therian, trying to get the 3rd place. Hendricks holding on to 2nd, but up front, Alan Elwood continuing to lead the way. So he's going to come off turn 4. He's going to see the white flag in the air one final time around Charlotte, presented by One to Go Studios.
So if a flag comes out, they'll still have a shot to the first guy to cross the line.
As Alan Elwood comes off turn 2 and down the backstretch for the final time, they're door-to-door for that top 5 spot. They're 3 wide for 5th, heading into turn 3, but working his way off turn 4 for the final time. Alan Elwood missed last week at Rockingham. He comes back in a big way and wins at Charlotte. And they're crashing, coming to the line. It's going to be Adam Capps and Joe Hassard spinning across the stripe. But up front, Elwood Design Esports taking home the podium positions. Alan Elwood 1st, Davey Hendricks 2nd, and Shane Therian 3rd. All right, and we're back, and that was just a little recap of what you might have missed from Charlotte last week. Alan Elwood and the crew getting a 1, 2, 3, sweeping the podium spots, Harold. I don't think we've ever seen that happen before.
I'm not sure if we have, actually. Well, 1, 2, 3. One of the series did last year. I don't remember what it was, though. And we had a, yeah. Didn't in Cup Series, didn't they, oh boy, Solar Flare do that earlier?
Solar Flare was new this year, but
I think they did it earlier in this season on Monday night. I could be wrong. I don't know.
It might have been. Oh, Travis is already making his bet, and the contest hasn't even opened yet.
He's betting on Scioli, not himself, though. That's kind of interesting. Hey, you know what? We do have something else we can put up, though. We can do that.
Yeah, we can get the playoff points going here. This is the point standings after Charlotte, so this is heading into today's I should say tonight's event at COTA. So Alan Elwood, Shane Therian, Cameron Hearn, and Davey Hendricks are all locked in. All right, now the contest is in, Travis. Now you can place your bet. So those top 4 are locked in because they all have a win. And then got to go to Richard Thomas, the highest in points without a win at plus 91 to the good. Then you got Bryce Senesac, Colin Fambro, James Scioli, who Travis is making his early bet on in the chat, or trying to. And Dom DeLeo has actually done that just now. Garrett Grant, Travis Beckner, Forrest Smith, and then Rick Christensen, only plus 9 to the good over Joe Hassert, 9 points out. Adam Capps, 23 points out. Christopher Buds, 25 out, along with Ed Morris Sr. Harold, if there's a name that's on the outside looking in that you feel like can assert themselves in, I feel like I already know what you're going to say, but who do you think that driver is that's going to make that extra push getting into the playoffs?
Look, coming in from the outside, out of the top 16 area?
Yep. Yeah, currently those that are on the outside looking in.
Adam Capps comes to mind in this. I don't really know, or Christopher Buds. Ed Morris Sr. kind of came hot at the end of last year, if I remember right. Didn't he?
Who was that again? Sorry, I had to refresh
Ed Morris Sr.
Oh, Ed Morris was not a part of last season.
No?
No, he's new to area this season. This current season.
So I must have remembered him from the Rick Hot Sauce late model series.
The late model series. Yeah, he was a part of that.
You got to forgive the old brain, okay? The old brain takes a while.
Well, I'm looking through the chat. We have the contest open. Everybody's picking Scioli. So if anyone goes against Scioli and they win, going to be a lot of channel points heading your way. We'll also take a look at the standings for the team side of things. So Elwood Design Esports, they're increasing their gap after their max points day last week at Charlotte. And as mentioned, they swept the podium spots. They're sitting at 783, just 81 points above Bell Weishart Esports, sitting at 702, then Elite at 608, and Transcendent at 504. So large gaps over there for the team side of things, but now we got a little over 6 minutes left in qualifying. Let's try and catch up with a car that's currently on the track, because everybody is putting their bets on that man right there, the number 7 of James Scioli. He was the fastest in practice, and we'll ride through here. This is about, I'd say, close to 3/4 of the way done on his current lap, but these drivers do have 2 laps, and it takes about 2 minutes and 15 seconds-ish, 2:17, to get around COTA once, so these guys will have plenty of time to get both laps in.
And he's coming out of the carousel right now. In the final corner and up the hill.
Yep, uphill. Now this uphill section over in turn 1, the highest point of the racetrack. There's 130 feet between the difference in elevation from the highest point to the lowest point. The lowest point has to be back on that backstretch area, and James Scioli to the top of the chart, 2:15.684. Believe that was faster than the lap he put in practice.
Yes, It was. He was 2:16, just slightly ahead of Cameron Hearn and Travis Beckner, and that puts him a good 0.8 quicker than David Weishart, and a whole second faster than Cameron.
Yep. So in the chat, for those that have yet to notice or have yet to make their bet on James Scioli, we have a contest over who will win tonight's Lodgebox race at COTA. The options are Therian, Elwood, Thomas, Hendricks, Senesac, Fambro, Scioli, Grant, Beckner, or if you think an outsider like, say, David Weishart could win, because it's happened before. You can select you can type. Sorry, I just have firework go off in the background. I don't know why.
Dawson Miller gave him 10 points. So
10 points.
So Bryce Senesac has a podium this week here.
He does. I believe that was the trucks, if I'm not mistaken.
So I said my Monday and Tuesday are going together. I knew it was one of them. We talked to him. I don't remember if it was you that talked to him or Ken.
But yeah, do apologize for that. I don't know if the mic picked up that, but it kind of caught me off guard. Anyway, in the contest, you can select exclamation point bet and then the following of the names: Therian, Elwood, Thomas, Hendricks, Senesac, Fambro, Scioli, Grant, Beckner, or like I was saying, if you think David Weishart could win, you could type in field. So it's exclamation point bet, any of those options, and then however many channel points you have could be as low as 5 points, could be as much as 400 points. I already made my pick on the podcast. I'm going to go with the Melon Man in Area iRacing, Travis Beckner.
There you go. I saw that. And then is he out yet? There he is. Come through the stadium turn here.
Yep, Beckner currently third, quickest with a 216 point. I believe that's
264.77. Yep.
Yeah. Word of that car too. Looking, working. Woo! Now the 28 will work his way through the carousel. I don't know if that part through turn 15 of the stadium section going into the carousel, I don't know if that's going to make it or go. All this just made it or break it. And he broke it.
Yep.
Didn't hit the wall, but he'll start in the third position. At the moment, still less than 2 minutes to go in qualifying, and still some cars out on track, such as the 49 of Alan Elwood. Man, this man is on a tear. This team has been on a tear. Elwood picked up just his third win last week over at Charlotte. And he could have been on the winning streak of 3 in a row if had he not gone to Charlotte in real life when we were doing Rockingham, because he went over to Charlotte Motor Speedway in real life for the Coke 600. Had to miss Rockingham, unfortunately, but he came back and won at Charlotte in the virtual world for the Lodgebox series last week, and he just seems like the car to beat. Like last season, it was Cameron Hearn. This season, it seems like it could be any one of the Elwood design guys, and it might be even Elwood.
Elwood is on his first qualifying lap. That was his out lap we were looking at earlier.
Yeah, then as you see, the Columbus, Ohio native, so it was quite a long drive. He might have driven or flown. Either way, he couldn't have brought his setup to Charlotte to still do Rockingham, so
he could have, but
he missed that.
Not the big heavy. It had to be like a laptop and a controller, you know. I asked my wife, I said, do you think I could put this in the back of the RV? And she looked at me and like, it would take the whole bedroom. So, unfortunately, so.
I'm going to pause a little bit because I've still got some, I don't know why there's fireworks going off literally right behind me as
boom,
this
boom,
broadcast is going on.
Boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, man.
So I'll let Harold do the grid for the moment while this dies down.
Okay. Going forward to the grid for tonight. We're going to try to get the guys here, so we'll try to get them on to their positions. Looking, try to get it all here, and then we'll go. Okay, I think we have everybody out here now. So starting on the pole tonight, James Scioli looks like the fan favorite. Outside of him, the number 33 of David Weishart. The number 28 of Travis Beckner and the 67 of Cameron Hearn are row 2 teammates in this series. Grant and Thomas are in row number 3. Row 4 is Bryce Sinesak and Colin Fambro. Ricky Harden and Shane Therian in row 5. Row number 6, you see Forrest Smith, and outside of him, Ryan Swan. Carter Coop and Rick Christensen are in row number 7. The number 49 of Alan Elwood and Chris Seidenfeiden are in row 8. Number 23 of Ruiz and 57 Rodriguez, row 9. Row 10, Davey Hendricks and Danny Ware. Finishing out inside of row 11 is Mr. Santo, and outside him is Hudson. And Robert F. Kinney in the row 12, and Adam Capps outside of him. And Jordan Martin on row 13 in the back. I'm not sure if he's back. He did show Gray is not in earlier. It looks like he is still not here. But that is your qualifying grid for tonight's race. Look at the weather starting here at Lottie'sTravelWorld.com for the area iRacing .shop. 95, partly cloudy skies, the air temp 73. Track temperature, a blistering 120. Relative humidity is at 50%. And the winds are coming out of the south at 10 miles per hour.
All right, thank you, Harold. I'd just like to give a quick little PSA. Number one, do not light off fireworks at 9 p.m. Your neighbors will not like it. And number two, don't light them off with children 5 feet away from you.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like those little firecrackers, I'm okay with it, but don't light gigantic fireworks in the middle of the street where you got kids playing basketball in the driveway. Just not a smart thing. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way,
Hendry Dirt there, you just make sure you put a space between Beckner and the 100 points that you want so we can get your bet in before the bets are closed.
Yep. Looking through that. And now we're ready to go. Harold, you made your pick with Scioli. I already made my pick with the driver that's starting right behind him, Travis Beckner.
All right. Even a half a pace lap is long here.
Yeah. They start halfway down the backstretch. It feels like an eternity. All right, so the field's going to come off turn 20. The pace car is down pit road, and we're underway from COTA for the area iRacing .shop 95. Field works their way through turn 1 and down into turn 2, and that is the correct way to type in the bet. So we see the field now working their way through the S's. Now, as mentioned throughout Monday and Tuesday night, this is the only part of the part of the track where you cannot pass.
No, it's ill-advised.
Yeah.
You could try it. It probably won't do very well for you.
Oh, and Santo just went over another cool turtle there as...
Don't kill the turtles.
No. The field's working their way now out of the S's portion of the track, and now they're going down through turn number 10. Now they're going to get woed up here for turn 11 and into the long back straightaway. Now this is the fastest part of the racetrack. It's where we'll see
locking them up there. Did you see that?
Did see that. Did see that he was starting a little deeper in the field than I had.
He didn't get a qualifying time. That's why.
Okay.
Like you're saying, this is where we probably see a lot of smoke coming through this section as they come off the fastest part of the track down here to make that left-hander.
It'll be intriguing seeing all the side-by-side battles going through, and that's Jacob Hudson in the grass trying to get that car woke down. So they're working their way through the stadium section now and into the carousel. There's Hudson in the number 7. Or Hudson, sorry, Scioli. Still looking at Hudson over there in the grass, but he is going. Scioli is the leader, and he's going to come around Ross Chastain punting turn and into turn number 20. There's not too many nicknames for these turns, so I'm just making them up as I go.
Track's too new for that. Too new. Still too new.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Oh, and something is amiss with Beckner. He's in the pits.
Oh no.
Not sure what happened there to the number 28 car. I don't know if we can go back and take a look at what might have happened to him. He was running in the 3rd spot. So I'll have to take a look. So this is the initial start, and everything's looking good. He was good through the S's and down the turn 11, going down the backstretch. So something might have went amiss through the stadium section. So we'll put it in supersonic speed for you.
It was right there.
Right there.
In the
and he
long
just put in the
straightaway.
chat that he blew up.
Wrong shift. That's what happened to Shane Wolf yesterday night. Money shifting. And there went the engine.
Gosh, that is a tough pill to swallow for Travis Beckner, especially on the opening lap. Went about half a lap around this track before it was the money shift that
blowed up.
ended the night. And so that moves Cameron Hurd into the third spot, and that is the first, I believe, first retiree of the night. I don't think there's any coming back from that.
Nah, well, we can switch out a motor, but it falls into the stripes. It says, you know, if you ever watch the old movie Stripes and he's like, where's your drill sergeant? We'll say, where's your motor, son? Blown up, sir.
Fortunately for Beckner, he's got a little bit of a cushion to work with. He's got a 46-point gap coming into tonight's event, but obviously with not completing a full lap under green here at COTA, that's going to drop him quite a few points. He'll be on the ropes for Nashville and possibly Talladega, because those are the next two events in the regular season, and then we go to our 5-race playoffs. He's continuing to put in the chat, he needs a new shifter, put in the third, and it showed going into first.
Ouch.
Yeah, that is something you do not want to see.
I guess he's using an H shifter? An H pattern shifter? Because, you know, I use sequential shifters, so that I couldn't skip one like that. So
I believe the majority of the field uses either paddle shifting or the H pattern shifting that we traditionally see in these Xfinity cars. Not too many people I've heard of that have used paddle shifting, although that is kind of the thing with the next gen car. It's got, or not paddle shifting. You just said it, and I can't think.
Sequential shifting.
Sequential shifting. Yes, it's in the Cup car.
It's
Manual
basically
and clutch.
It basically just has a up or down to the next gear, and they pop it up or pop it down. Yeah, but he says manual, but is it Travis? Is it an H pattern, sequential, or using paddle shifters? I would think by what you're saying that it sounds like an H pattern shifter. Yeah, I paddle shift too, Drew.
Through
but then again, my frame of choice is a $18, so that has paddle shifters in life. So
and Beckner does have an H pattern. He just put in the chat.
H pattern. Right? You know, and I can see that in an H pattern, that little knob that basically separates 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 can wear away, and you could think you're putting it up into third and actually be going up into first. So I wonder if that might have been it. Not sure what he had. He might let us know, or he might not. See if we can find something on the racetrack here for us to watch.
I think right around there, the top 10 battle heating up. Oh, even in front of them too. Got Fambro, Elwood, Ricky Harden, and Shane Therian all within this little group here, 7th through 10th on the track, that are close nose and tail of each other. And Elwood's continuing to blink in and out. I've been noticing that looking at the leaderboard over the last couple of times. So if it gets any worse, we'll have the series directors make their, they'll have the series director message to the 49. Looking through info, and the fireworks are continuing to go off. I believe it's Jacob Bell tonight. It might be Jacob Bell, because Brad Slaughter is not here. He's not able to do it because he's got other commitments lined up. So it looks like it's Jacob Bell that will be. I could be making the call to Alan Elwood a little bit soon. That blinking continues, and we'll look further back here. Got Chris Seinfeld in the number 45 And then the number 18 car right there. That's Danny Ware. Cars running 13th and 14th.
He was killing turtles yesterday.
Ah. Yeah, one thing we did not touch on is that there will also be a competition caution in this race as well. Kind of like a stage break, what you see with traditional NASCAR racing now, but pit road will close at lap 7, so it's the completion of that lap, and then the competition caution will come out on lap 9, the completion of that lap as well.
And I was corrected on Monday night. Where Scioli, remember where Scioli had crossed one of the white lines, and I said I didn't think that was the finish line. The second white line coming out of the final turn is actually the NASCAR start-finish line. The one that I thought was further up by the bridge is actually the F1 start-finish line.
Yeah, COTA's got different characteristics not only throughout the track, but on the front stretch as well, with different start-finish lines.
Because basically it's the F1, since F1 does a start a stationary start, they have it up the hill further.
We might have to go up to second because Cameron Hearn has caught up with the bumper of David Weishart. Skyler's continuing to increase his lead up to 4.5 seconds now over the 33, but that number 67 has closed in right on the bumper of Weishart as they work their way through the S. Now they'll go through the Y turn 6, get a row down for turn 7. Hearn a little loose there going through the turn, and then right here is where we see some of the drivers did it Monday night. They run on that little red strip there over by turn 9 and get them propelled to have a better run through turn 10 and down into turn 11. So this is another one of the key passing zones throughout this racetrack, and then you have the next one coming up right here after they go down the long back straightaway. And they're not too far behind those guys is Bryce Senesax, actually 4 seconds behind the third place car of Cameron Hearn as he's trying to get a little handle of the number 67, trying to put together a solid finish because he has been, boy, bad luck seems to follow the 67 everywhere we go. We just caught a glimpse of that, so that was Weishart taking a little wider approach through that turn, transitioning from the same section into the carousel, turn 15.
And Forrest Smith going wide in that corner. And the 0-1 new driver, Robert F. Kinney.
I truly do apologize because I still don't know why these fireworks are going off at this time of night. I just don't understand.
Happy birthday.
Birthday ain't for another 2.5 months.
Somebody's fireworks for it's Thursday.
Yeah. I guess so. I honestly don't understand it. But nonetheless, the show must go on, and we see here close battle, 8th, 9th, and 10th on the track. Ricky Harden, Colin Fambro, and the number 38 of Shane Darian. So I believe this lap and the next lap we'll see some cars coming down pit road to get some service on their car before the competition caution, because if anything, Monday night it seemed like it was going to be track position. I'm not sure if that was the case for Tuesday night, but if you make that pit stop before the stage caution, then you're setting yourself up for a solid finish in the long run.
Tuesday night we had fall off big time on tires. They told us Monday night there really wasn't any, so it was kind of a night and day thing. We wonder, I believe the Xfinity series will have a big fall off like we saw yesterday in the trucks. But we know that they can short pit and have fuel at the end. I believe I wrote that down. But I sent it to you. What did I put down there for the window today?
Oh, what I'm seeing is 17 to 19 laps.
Yep. Like the money lap was 18. So yeah, maybe not. Maybe that. Well, yeah, because it'd be 20. But then with 3 caution laps, you know, it's wow. But the guy that's in the catbird seat is this guy here, because it's at the, like you said, as the completion of 7. So he can cross here, and then he'll can throw it down pit lane before he takes the closed pit by going across, and he'll have a couple more laps on those tires, and then stay out when everybody else comes down. Because there's that second line, there's that line, and that is the start finish line. The first one's the DRS line, and then the start finish line.
And Dom DeLeo is just put in the chat, you save so much fuel on the pace laps, they should be fine. Dom has raced, I believe, only once, maybe twice this season in the Lodgebox series. So he's got a little feel of what the car can do, and he's continuing to ask. I really should come down. My opinion, he didn't on Monday and paid for it. Yep.
Well, as the leader, he can, instead of going across the stripe, I'm willing to bet he's going to make that turn into the pit lane. We'll keep an eye on him as he's kind of coming up through the S's right now into the halfway part of the track.
Yeah, it feels like he'll be coming down this lap, and looks like we've already got a couple of people down pit road. I believe Chris Sci-Fi is on pit road. Might
Ryan
be Ryan Swan as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Swan and Seidenfaden are down, and so they went down at the completion of 5 laps. And we're watching now the number 7 coming down the long back straight.
Boy, that battle for second has tightened up right there in the back. Weishart and Hearn. They've still been close in tail, but Hearn has made up the ground on the 33 of Weishart just in the back. So 7 continues to work his way through the stadium section. Now going to transition into the carousel. I believe they're door to door. No, not quite yet. But we'll see what the 7 does as he's rounding turn 17 and through turn 18. And he makes his way through the Ross Chastain punt and turn.
Punt and turn.
He's going to stay out.
Wow, interesting. I did not expect him to do that. Because Cameron Hearn's going to say, I'm going to come down, though. Whoa, doesn't quite make it.
Yeah, he got in a little too hot.
Oh, they might have closed the pit just before he got there. Because they had the closed pit command as Scioli crossed. Yeah, he says, I don't know if I'd have made it. So he made sure that he didn't cross that line and close pits, because they would have held him in the box and he would have basically been out of this race. So interesting that the leaders stay out. Bryce Sinasak, Alan Elwood. Apparently these guys think they don't have enough gas. Yeah, Birdie, I've not seen anybody except for those first few cars that came down. And so pits are closed, so there's no way for everybody to come down now. Yep, Dom reminded me that I just said that Cameron couldn't come down because the pits were closed, and I'm checking to see if everybody else was coming down. All right, Dom, keep me on my toes, man. Scioli, though, is going to continue to pace this here at the end of lap 9. So he's got this lap to finish and one more. The competition caution will fly as he crosses the line. So Matthew Rodriguez and, oh, actually Ryan Swan and Chris Seidenfaden have rolled the dice with a short pit to see if that'll help him out.
Folks, I genuinely do apologize for the inconvenience. My internet is also choosing not to cooperate with me right now. The fireworks have subsided for the moment.
That was a different type of fireworks.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know what is happening. It's just utter chaos. I do apologize for it, but
it's just another Matting Monday. The Scioli's just crossed. Exactly.
So, I hear that on the daily too.
So Scioli just crossed the complete 8. So the next time by, when he crosses that line, they will throw the competition caution, and these drivers will come down for service. Looking at Matthew Rodriguez, Ryan Swan, and Chris Seidenfaden as being the two drivers who did the short pit to see if that'll help them out. It'll put them up into the front row, starting us back to green.
Oh yeah, that should put them on the front row because, like you said, when this whole debacle was happening between me and the fireworks and the internet, Cameron Hearn looked like he was trying to go down pit road, but I initially thought that he had overshot the pit, like he was a little too hot coming in. I didn't realize that the pits had already closed at that point because of how big of a gap Skyler had on Weishart and Hearn already. It was at least 6 seconds before. If it was just 1 second lower, then Hearn probably would have made it down pit road, and who knows, he might have been the leader. But we'll have to live and learn, and we'll see, because some people like to do it up until the last lap, and if you get caught going down pit road when it's closed, you're going to be set to the tail end of the field.
Actually, that's a hold penalty.
Oh, it's a hold. Okay.
Okay. Entering a closed pit's a hold in box.
Let's go back to the battle for 8th, because the 7's got almost a 9-second gap now over Weishart, and this battle it's still going on. I mean, we've seen 7th pull away a little bit, but Shane Therian holding on to it, Ricky Harden close in tail, and then Colin Fambro about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds back, just waiting to see what kind of action unfolds in front of him. But it looks like this is the closest battle that we're seeing currently on the racetrack.
Only problem I'm seeing right now with Swan and Seidenfaden is how much did you really gain if you're only going to be in the front 2 spots, and the guy right behind you is going to have fresh tires and fuel and has no issues to get to the end, and he's fast. And the caution is out now as Scioli has come across that stripe and set the cars into this competition yellow.
Yep, so the field working their way around the track. Caution is out. This is the only caution of the race. There are no yellows for incidents, so if you spin, if you crash, it is not a caution at a road course, and you're basically putting yourself in a pickle. Like, say what happened to Beckner on lap 1. He pulled off to the side. That might have been a caution at, say, Nashville or Charlotte, but at a road course, there's no yellows other than the competition yellows, and that's the kind of hole you put yourself into whenever you have something unfortunate happen. But the 7 continues to lead under this caution as the field works their way around. We're going to go ahead and go side by side. If you missed out on the last week's episode with David Weishart, had a little snippet of the interview here to play for you under this side-by-side break.
And you've obviously turned it around since then, and we're ironically, like we said earlier, filming this after your first Cup win of the season. That was one of the questions I had. I think I know the answer, though. Ladies
and gentlemen, bear with me here, as we had an issue with that hiccup early on. I will get that fixed.
And you've obviously turned it around since then, and we're ironically, like we said earlier, filming this after your first Cup win of the season. That was one of the questions I had. I think I know the answer, though. Is what's been your highlight of the season? Hunter kind of referred to the low light, your run-ins with Okrezik, week 2, just bad start to the year. But so far, what would you say has been your highlight? I think I might know the answer, but
yeah, obviously the highlight is tonight. Before tonight, if you'd asked me before the race, it would have been last week.
We'll go there, and I gotta go back to.
And you've obviously turned it around since then, and we're ironically, like we said earlier, filming this after your first Cup win of the season. That was one of the questions I had. I think I know the answer though. Is what's been your highlight of the season? Hunter kind of referred to the low light your run-ins with Okrezik week 2, just bad start to the year. But so far, what would you say has been your highlight? I think I might know the answer, but
Yeah, obviously the highlight is tonight. Before tonight, if you'd asked me before the race, it would have been last week at 2 weeks ago at Rockingham.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. I love Rockingham. I was so looking forward to that race. But yeah, tonight's the highlight. I led 80% of the race and just had a clean, quiet race, if you can call that a quiet race. But yeah, it was a lot of fun tonight. To just go out, honestly, it was just fun to go out and have a clean race and to get the win with just the cherry on top.
yeah, you talked about Rockingham. That battle was something else I wanted to get into because you were definitely one of the fastest guys out there, but it looked like at the end of the race at Rockingham, Colin Fambro, who's actually your driver on Tuesday nights on David Weishart Racing, he was running you down there at the end, and you had to throw some blocks, and you guys had to race elbows up those last 40 laps or so. And I know it was probably fun behind the driver's seat.
Oh yeah, Rockingham's always a lot of fun from the driver's seat. I really enjoy that track. It's really a driver's track. You got to really manage the tires, and unlike some of the tracks and the car combinations we have nowadays, it's just you don't have to ease back into the gas or ease out of it. It's just all the way in or all the way out, and there's really no repercussions for it unless you get into somebody. But yeah, I was really looking forward to that, and I know we had a spirited battle there at the end. That's hard racing. I hope he looks at it the same way. Um, I'm not one to really throw big blocks, and if that had happened early in the race, I honestly don't think I would have done that. I didn't think the block was that big anyway. Um, but we're racing for the win, and on that slippery surface, it's just. And at Rockingham, if you enter the corner too light or too hard, it makes a big difference there. And I didn't mean to run him down there on the apron. That wasn't my goal at all. Um, I like I said, I wouldn't want that done to me, and I don't like doing that to other people. But going back to what I said earlier, I've had a rough start to the season in the Cup car, and I just go run the Xfinity races for fun. I'm not running for points. I'm not even playoff eligible anymore. So I was just looking at it to go out there and have fun, and I really wanted to win to get some momentum built back up. And luckily, it looks like that's happened. We're entering a stretch here of the season that these tracks I really enjoy racing at.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that on the broadcast tonight too. After you won at Charlotte, that this stretch, you got COTA coming up next race, and then Nashville where you won in season 1 coming up, and then Talladega at the end of to end the regular season. So, I mean, these next 3 races, what are your expectations there? Now that you have the winning Cup, you're pretty much locked into the playoffs. What are you going to try to make out of COTA, Nashville, and then Talladega?
Well, obviously the goal is to win. I like COTA a lot. It's my favorite road course. I'm not a big road course guy, but if we're gonna go to a road course, that's the one I like to go to. I have pretty good success there, and like you said at Nashville, I won there last year, so I got a lot of confidence going in there. I don't like Talladega. I don't like super speedway racing. That just is what it is. But yeah, if there's any time for me to get some momentum built up, it's right now because Charlotte, COTA, and Nashville are my bread and butter, you could say, I guess.
Who would be the person to kind of steal your bread and butter? Like say your biggest rival. That's what I'm kind of hinting at. I know you had some run-ins with Okrezik. I'm not sure if he's your biggest rival, but is there like someone on the track where you just can't stand to race around, and if it'll take like one small thing to like flip a switch and just go
Push you
all
over the
after him?
edge.
Yeah, push him over the edge.
I honestly don't know if there's one person that I can point out specifically that I just don't like racing against. I really haven't had outside of the Okrezik stuff, and that wasn't even most of that was just hard racing. But I mean, honestly, I don't have one person that I just don't enjoy racing around in the Cup Series. But I mean, if I had to pick like a rival that's like not that I don't like racing around him, but obviously I judge everything I do almost every week off of whatever Jake Nichols is doing and whatever my teammate James Scioli's doing. I think and to an extent Cameron Hearn, those are the cream of the crop in the Cup Series. And you always got to see what they're doing and what lines they're running, how they're driving a track. So in any race, I think those three right there are the ones that I strive to beat the most. That I know if I'm going to win a race, it's got to go through those other three drivers for sure.
Is there any difference in how you race those three? Let's say it's 20 to go and either you're tracking them down or they're tracking you down. Do you race Jake Nichols or Cameron Hearn and James Scioli? Do you race any of those three differently? For in a situation where you're racing for a win, or is it kind of just all out all the time?
Well, yeah, I'll race James Scioli a lot different. That's my car. Uh, to be
Yeah, Jake,
honest
you
with
should
you.
know that.
Yeah,
Well, no, but I mean,
that's my
to
car.
juniors,
So yeah,
to Junior Motorsports credit, they're racing each other just as hard for the win, and their teammates every week in Xfinity. So it was an honest question.
yeah. I mean, I totally get that. But I guess the only difference it would be is if I'm racing James Scioli for the win, I may not do some Hail Mary dive bomb for a win, especially now that I have a win and I know he's been knocking on the door. But like if it's Jake or Cameron or anybody else, I'd probably maybe try like a last second bump and run or a last second dive bomb to get my nose in there. But if it's James, obviously I'm not going to go in there and put both of us at jeopardy. If we're having that good of a team night, so I would race any of my teammates a little bit differently. I may not be as aggressive, but obviously, and as a team, we all have, we've had a talk, when it's when the chips are on the table and the pay window's open, it's every man for himself. We got to go for it, but we also know not to wreck each other.
Hunter, are you okay?
Yeah.
I thought you were coming to us from Ukraine or something.
Yeah, the fireworks, they're somehow getting louder and louder, and I quite frankly, I don't understand it. Like, it beats me. But we're back. If you want to tune in to episode 2, got more of that coming from David Weinsart's interview. The whole point of the name Happy Hour is for it to be an hour long, to stay with the name. That interview alone was 35 minutes. So I definitely recommend you check it out because it's got quite a bit of interesting intel in there. But you can listen to it on Spotify at Area Happy Hour, or search Area iRacing Area Happy Hour. It'll pop up. Make sure you're following. So we're about to drop another episode here with another guest that is in the field tonight. You don't know who it is, but he's currently in the field amongst the 22 cars that are still on the racetrack. Could be in the top 5, could be in the top 10, could be outside of the top 10. Someone in this field tonight is going to be on the next episode of the podcast, so make sure you're listening to it on Spotify. It's also up on our YouTube channel at Area iRacing. Make sure you're subscribed there as well. And so during that side-by-side break, we saw Chris Seinfeld stay out, and I believe we saw Ryan Swan come in pit road.
Yes, he did.
So Seinfeld and Swan were the only two to pit before pits closed, before the competition yellowed. But Ryan Swan elected to come back down pit road. He's going to restart 8th. Seinfeld stays out, and Scioli wins the battle off pit road with Hearn, Weinsart, Senesac, and Elwood being the top 5 out of pit road.
Yeah, Ellen Elwood's up the biggest mover right now with +9.
Yeah, Elwood had to start deep in the field, didn't get a qualifying lap in, and so he's worked his way through, and he's going to restart in the 6th position when we go back green, and this long pace lap. So I gotta ask, Carol, is it going to be all about track position like we saw Monday night? Because it seems like if it's going to be that way, Sci-Fi might have this in the bag, although fuel might be a concern, although Don Delio did say that should save so much on fuel that they should be fine.
I really don't think it's going to be like it was Monday. I think that's just was the person who was there. And then yesterday we saw Travis Beckner just pick his way through the field. I think we'll be able to see that tonight. I don't think Chris Seidenfeiden is going to be up there for too long. Scioli is going to be able to break away because the 45's there, but the 33 and the 67 will make short work at the 45.
Yep, and we continue to pace under this long pace lap at COTA. We're 13 laps in of the 28 lap.
We're turning left and right.
We are indeed turning left and right, and we won't be doing that until the Roval. So we only had one road course last season, and we've got two. So one in the playoffs and one right now. This one being COTA, the last of the three races going on, and then we got COTA for the playoffs. So that should spice some things up. And we're currently on lap 13 of 28 of tonight's
You're trying to say the
area
Roval, right?
racing. Yeah, the Roval.
You said COTA like we're going to put this back in the playoffs. I'm going to do this again? Wow, interesting. But yeah.
Anyway, coverage of tonight's race is brought to you by Elite Entertainment. We would like to thank Elite Entertainment for their support of the Elite Entertainment Cup Series and for all of us here at Area. Be sure to check out Elite Entertainment on Facebook. Book them to DJ your next event.
You know, the funny thing about this is by the time we get back to green flag race and they come around one time, we're at halfway.
Yeah, we'll have to wait until a lap after the green, and then we'll do our top 10 rundown because it's so close to each other. I just want to give it a little space. But yeah, we'll be seeing. I can't wait for turn one because the leader's on the outside.
Yep.
Going to be on the outside heading into turn one.
And his choice, inside, outside. Chose to stay on that outside.
And you saw Monday night, I don't know if it happened Tuesday night as well. People like to go a little wide into turn one and get a better runoff downhill into turn two.
Yep. A few people do that.
That could be a particular reason why the number 45 of Scienfine elected to do that.
45 could also be planning on pinching the 7 in that corner as well and slow his momentum off the corner.
That is true. He could pinch him, but the one downside of that is if you pinch him too much and there's contact and we see cars spinning around, and in that tight turn one, it's just going to be a mess trying to get around there and navigate your way through. Oh. And Dawson tried to place another bet. Your bet went in. Your bet went in, and you cannot bet shortly after the green flag. The contest closes about a lap or two after the green comes out. But your original bet's already in. Scioli is going to restart second. I know a lot of the chat picked Scioli. I know a good bit picked Beckner, and unfortunately he retired early, didn't even make it a lap, had a problem with the shifter, and it ended his night. Andrew Santo is also out of the race.
The Travis Beckner's crew chief has talked to me, says they're planning on changing an engine and getting back out there.
So 28 going to go back out there. He's going to pick up at least one spot if he goes back out. And speaking of going back out, the green flag's about to come back out here at COTA for the final time. Chris Scienfine, the leader on the outside, Scioli on the inside. Old tires versus new tires. We'll see how it plays off going into turn one.
Good jump on that outside line. Weishart using the momentum to get around the 7. The 45.
He missed the turn.
Yeah, completely.
Chris Scienfine stays out and he misses the turn. Unreal. Now that's going to put the 7 of Scioli into the lead. Wow, he carried a little too much speed there going into turn one. And I was just going to say, Weishart and Scienfine, they are related. They are brothers. So I don't know if the 33 gave a little too much of a shove for the 45 Scienfine going into turn one, but whatever it was, he missed the turn. And that allowed the 7 of Scioli to open up the door, grab the lead. Now Weishart's still sitting in third. Cameron Hearn up to second. Now the field coming through turn 11 and down the long back straightaway. We'll see if the 7 of Skyly can hold off the 67 of Cameron Hearn. Meanwhile, in the back, see up there just a little further, Weishart land the 49 of Alan Elwood go. He's one to keep an eye on because he's the highest mover of the race. Looking back here around Ryan Swan, Ricky Harden, that 7th position. They're door to door. Bryce Sensak just up the road. Look into the inside. Nope. Shane Therian poking his nose, locking it up a little bit. Well, I bet Ryan Swan made the right move. He's probably thinking, yep, I did make the right move coming back down pit road. Because that could have been him also. He could have locked it up going into the turn. The field working their way around the carousel. Close nose and tail behind Swan is the 5 of Grant, the 38 of Therian. They're going to be side by side. Heading into turn 20. Nope. The 5 got a better run. Oh, the 38 trying to get a run on the outside. Crossing over down this front stretch.
Got him on the inside there as they cross the start-finish line. Look at watch, see what the Grant's going to do. Oh, he's going to pull that behind him. I thought for sure he was going to try to get that on the inside here. And that's strange. Therian kind of got out of the way and let Davey Hendricks get on by.
He let the 94 go, and Hendricks now into the top 10. Therian into 11th. Those are teammates, by the way.
Oh, big air. Who was that? Was that Cameron Hearn?
That was Swan.
That was Ryan Swan. He got big air. And the German judge gives him a 4.
Yeah, those turtles, they do some serious damage. It's there to signal to the driver, hey, you're not on the track. You're not in the line. And, oh, we got some close racing here. We're almost 3 wide. I'm not really sure what's happened back here. This is all right where
Swan is.
Yeah, Swan is trying to look on the leaderboard. Wow, these guys are going super wide. They're still nearly 3 wide. Gosh, this is back around, say, outside the top 10. Therian, Fambro, Simon Fine. So this is 10th through 14.
Yep. Mixed gaggle here.
The red car in the mix.
Hey, I see Travis Beckner out.
Yep, Beckner is back out. Laps down, and the 22 of Jacob Hudson is on pit road. Not really sure what's going on there with the 22. We'll try and get an update here after we get our top 10 rundown presented by Swift Lifestyles. Fans, be sure to visit our sponsor Swift Lifestyles for clean supplements that can help improve your focus in game. You can use the discount code on your screen, Area iRacing, AREA iRacing, for 15% off your entire order. We'd like to thank Swift Lifestyles for their continued support of Area iRacing. So, the 7 of Skyoli, the fastest car of the race, back in the lead. He's currently have the fastest car in the field. The chat, I'd say the people's pick is the 7 of Skyoli. He's led 13 of the 16 laps, with 3 of those going to Sign Fine for staying out. And there is a discount code on the screen, Area iRacing, for 15% off. So the 7 continues to lead for Bell Weishart Esports, and the car right behind him is eager at getting just a solid finish, and that's the 67 of Cameron Hearn. He might have a shot at the win. He's currently running in second, and, you know, like we said, bad luck follows the 67 everywhere we go, but I feel like for this week, for sure, it's got to end. And, I mean, he's right there. It's just a little over a second back from Skylerly, but still has that race-winning speed. And I think this 49 car of Alan Elwood also has race-winning speed. He is up, at least in the double digits, I believe 12 spots.
Yep, from the green flag.
Yep, since the drop of the green flag. Did not get a qualifying lap in, but that 49 car has worked its way from the back to the front. He's currently 3rd in the podium position. And right behind him, you got the 33 of David Weishart. He was the one that restarted, I believe, 3rd, or might have been 4th, but he gave the 45 to Sign Fine a little too much of a push, I think, and set the 45 wide. And he's kind of fallen back to the 4th spot afterwards, but still the butt kicker number 33 rocking in the 4th spot. Then we got Bryce Sendesack over in the 09 running in the 5th spot for Bellwise Art Esports. Solid runs so far for Bryce as he continues to navigate his way through stadium section. Now going to transition into the carousel, and right behind him, Richard Thomas will do the same. As the 09 closing in on the 33 right there, but Richard Thomas over in P6. Another car for Elwood Design Esports. They're coming off a podium sweep from Charlotte, and they're looking to do the same thing. They've got all their cars have been solid, but they're trying to piece it together here in the second half of the run. So Richard Thomas running in P6 at the moment. P7, Ricky Harlan. We haven't talked about him too much this season, but over the last couple of weeks, he's had some solid runs at Charlotte, and now he's running in the 7th at COTA. So looking to see the 15 continue to improve as the rest of the season goes. Garrett Grant over in the 5. He was running good at Charlotte last week. He's continuing to run inside the top 10 here at COTA for Bellwise Art Esports. Boy, it seems like all our guys are inside the top 10 here for Bellwise Art Esports. Solid road course ringers there. And right behind him, it's another Elwood Design driver, Shane Thiering in the 38. He was in the Hornets' Nest just a couple of laps ago. But that 38 car, he's been a little quiet since Daytona. Although he is coming off a podium from last week at Charlotte, he's looking to build on that momentum for the playoff push, because we got Nashville and Talladega following tonight's race at COTA. And then in the 10th spot, we got the 94 of Davey Hendricks, another Elwood Design car. All the Elwood Design cars are in the top 10. They've all got race-winning speed. And don't count out that 94 just yet. He could move up a few more positions and get closer and closer to that top 5 spot. And that was your top 10 rundown presented by Swift Lifestyles. And the Hornets' Nest is the 8 of Ryan Swan. Because it seems like anytime we come back to him now, he's 2 wide or 3 wide. Oh, and there was a little wheel spin there for the 45 to Simon Fine. And that's Gary Lewis checking in the chat. What's going on, Gary? Nothing too much. 7 car's been the car to beat, but the 45 to Simon Fine stayed out because he and Ryan Swan pitted just before the stage caution came out. Swan elected to come back down pit road, so Simon Fine restarted as the leader. Then on the restart going into turn 1, not sure if it was from this, but the 33 of Simon Fine restarted right behind the 45. 33 of Wysart restarted behind the 45 of Simon Fine. Gave him, I believe, a little too much of a push. And that is sent for 45. Well, he completely missed the corner. Simon Fine missed the corner, and so James Scioli took over as the race leader. Cameron Hearn is now 3 seconds back from first place, James.
We got all this fighting back here. Too much fun to be back here than not to watch this.
That is Chris Fine and Matthew Rodriguez running in the 16th and 17th position. There is that 67 of Cameron Hearn. Too far behind him is that 49 of Alan Elwood that we've been talking about. Probably the driver to beat in the Lodgebox Series this season. Last season, it was Cameron Hearn who had an impressive 9 wins in the Lodgebox Series. Not too many for Alan Elwood. He's only got 3 for the moment, but if he goes on a tear, it could get up to 9.
Wow. Drew Trader's getting on his driver there, Gary Lewis. He told him that he's going to take the company phone away.
Counted for 1 week.
Yeah. Shouldn't make the boss mad. That's Forrest that's behind Cameron Hearn. He's a lap down, one of the Elite Entertainment drivers.
Well, it looks like the 84, I believe he came down pit road. Hudson is still on pit road. Jose Ruiz is now on pit road. Forrest Smith, I don't think he's pitted. He might have, but not from what I'm seeing so far on the leaderboard. Wait to see when it updates coming across the stripe.
I'm showing that Forrest Smith pitted with everybody else. The only person that is on is the 11 laps on Seidenfaden's car.
So there must have been an incident that took place with the 84, unless it's...
Well, that's actually Elwood. I got that wrong. They look so similar in color. That's Alan Elwood.
Okay.
49 is behind Cameron. I was thinking they're already trying to pass somebody, but no, because we've got. Let's see. I can go back to where Forrest is. There's Forrest. He's in a little different paint scheme today. Pixelers. Oh, well, keep an eye on some of these guys. Smith not pitted yet.
Yeah, like you said, he pitted with everyone else when it came back
right.
down pit road. But right behind, though, that Forrest Smith-looking paint scheme of Alan Elwood, he's catching the 67 of Cameron Hearn, although he might have had a bit of a bobble there going through turn 11. I was going to say he was within a second of him just a few moments ago, but at some point through turn 10 or turn 11, that 49 lost a little bit of ground to the 67 of Cameron Hearn. Gap trying to close down there, about a second and a half difference between second and third. I want to look back at round, I'd say, let's go back to ninth. Shane Therian and Davey Hendricks, teammates, they are still close, nose and tail with each other. Ninth and 10th on the racetrack. Colin Fambro sitting just one spot shy of the top 10. So you got the Elwood boys running in third and sixth, and then ninth and 10th. Then for Bell Weishart Esports guys, now David Weishart is not, he's not technically a member of the team, although he is, half owner, not half owner, co-owner, but he is up there. His driver, James Scioli, currently leading the way. Cameron Hearn is up there for Elite Entertainment, running in second. Then you got to go to Bryce Senesek, the other Bell Weishart car, running in fifth. Garrett Grant running in eighth, and Ricky Harden, I believe he is a solo car. I believe he's on his own. So we got quite a mix here. So from first to 10th, we got Bell Weishart, then Elite, Elwood, and then the owner of, or co-owner of Bell Weishart Esports running in fourth. Then another Bell Weishart driver in fifth. Then Elwood, free car, just the field car for Ricky Harden. Bell Weishart, and then Elwood. The majority of the teams for Bell Weishart Esports and Elwood Design Esports running inside the top 10. I believe Forrest Smith's nickname is Chicken Spaghetti.
I guess.
That's what
I was just going to let that go.
Be chicken Alfredo, not chicken spaghetti. That's the good stuff.
No, that's Alfredo from the Xfinity series.
Anthony Alfredo.
Anthony Alfredo, yeah. And they basically call themselves the Pasta Posse. All his fans.
Gap for third has really grown now, so might have been a little issue there again with the 49 of Elwood, but More gap being made or from the 67 to Cameron Hearn. Looking through here, I guess we can go back. Oh, Fambro has dropped quite a bit of positions. Let's go around there with him and Danny Ware. Just one spot shy of the top 10. Those two are. They're still going at it through carousel section and now into the Ross Chastain punt and turn. I don't think we've seen side-by-side racing there. And right behind those two is the 28 of Travis Beckner, who has returned. As mentioned a little earlier, he is 12 laps down on the track. He money shifted on the initial lap, but he's made the repairs and has come back out. And with Santo being officially out of the race, he's going to pick up at least one position. But it will be interesting to see if he can make up another spot, because Jacob Hudson is currently, let me refresh that. He might pick up another spot because Hudson is still in the pits. Carter Coop has also made his way on the pit road. Jose Ruiz is on pit road, but I don't see the 22 or the 23 on the track at the moment. So Hudson 7 laps down. If Beckner can rally these last 7 laps, there's a 5-lap difference between the two. He'll pick up another spot there, but with Jose Ruiz, I don't think it'll happen. But at this point, you'll take some points over no points.
Cameron Hearn has elected to come down pit lane, so has a new set of tires on that car. Or no, he didn't. He that's a mistake. Looks like maybe I might be able to find this out, but somebody just mentioned it. So
yeah, that was Jordan Martin who
I wonder if he drove through that way. Well, this is an interesting thing. If you come down pit lane is set up at 50 miles per hour. Pace speed is at 45, so you can almost run through that up there, and it could have been something he did where he started the pit lane, like we talked about, because I didn't see a whole pit lane, 1.9 seconds. I don't think it's a whole pit lane run.
It might be a glitch, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like he's got fresh tires, and it's saying that he pitted on ACBO, and Jordan Martin put in the chat. Jordan Martin did put in the chat that he pitted.
So we have him coming down pit lane here, but I'm showing only 1.9 seconds. So does he just run down pit lane, or does he actually stop? No, we had a glitch like that on Monday where we didn't get the right things either. That's 4 tires.
Similar glitch.
Yeah, with Jake Nichols, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, I guess that's good company to be in the glitch with. The guy that won the race on Monday.
And that's Dawson Miller from P2 on the racetrack from second too. So that's interesting, because that might lead me to believe that we might not be good on fuel, but then again, it looks like we are, so I'm not sure why the 67 came down pit road. I feel like he thinks if he pits, then maybe he can make up more ground. That I'm not too sure, but
not sure. We'll see.
He went from 2nd to 10th, and now he's back up to 8th. But we'll see what the 67 does. But Elwood moves into 2nd. Weishart, once again, it seems like that 33 is always in 3rd.
It's all them 3s.
And see if we got any close battles on the track. I say let's go around this place, where Garrett Grant is 26 seconds back, and then Cameron Hearn is the nearest car around him. And let's just see the difference here as they're working down their way down the long back stretch. Look at the way, or the difference in the 5 braking between the 67 of Cameron Hearn braking with the fresh tires. Gosh, he closes in so much right there. But that's the difference in 9-lap tires from the 5 to the 67.
Mm-hmm.
Working their way through turn 14 and now turn 15. The 5 is going to let the 67 go. So Hearn up to P6, but he's got a long way to make up to Richard Thomas. I believe 7 seconds separating those two drivers. Back here with Colin Fambro in the number 54, running in the 11th spot. Ricky Harden just a little ways up the road, running in the 10th spot. It's actually 1 second behind Danny Ware. Then we got Forrest Smith over here in the 84, and Shane Therian has dropped all the way down to 16th. Cycle on the racetrack. There's Ricky Harden in the 15th. Danny Ware in front of him. So 9th, 10th, and 11th could still be up for grabs. Could see a switching of the two. Oh, actually, let's go up to second. Alan Elwood, although 10.5 seconds behind. The 33 of Weishart closing in the gap. It was half a second. It's now up to 1.1 seconds separating the two drivers. Work their way down turn 10 and into turn 11. Bryce Anasak is about 2 seconds behind this group, a little wide there for the 49 of Elwood. We'll see the difference here as they go down the backstretch. .49 currently holding on to second, but that's one battle we'll keep an eye on. Got to go back to 9th now as Danny Ware might be setting it in or setting up for a send on the 15 of Ricky Harden. And once again, it seems like Colin Fambro is just waiting for something to happen, and Travis Beckner right behind. Fambro with the move to the inside for the 10th spot on Danny Ware. And he'll take over. Now he'll have his eyes set on the 15 of Ricky Harden. Working their way through turn 14 and into turn 15, exiting the stadium section and into the carousel section. 15 going a bit wide there. We'll see the 54 of Fambro does as actually Danny Ware looking right behind. Might have a nose on the inside of the 54. Nope, not yet. Back up here, 49 of Elwood holding on to second. The 7 Scioli still in the lead as we've hit 5 laps to go in tonight's area iRacing Not Shop 95, presented by CNC Logging. We would like to thank CNC Logging for their support of the CNC Logging Truck Series this season in area. Located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina, CNC Logging is your place to go for any of your logging needs. Got wood, big or small, summer or fall, we'll cut your log, guaranteed. CNC Logging. Their driver, Cameron Hearn, is currently working his way to the bumper of the 1 of Richard Thomas. He was running in second, decided to come back down pit road. He's got newer tires than the 1 of Richard Thomas, and boy, what a crossover right there. Down through turn 10. Oh, he took a little bit of a shortcut there, but nonetheless, still P5 for the number 67 of Cameron Hearn. Yep, and looking through the chat just now, Gary Lewis, Hearn gonna get top 5 here too. Yep, just got in. 67 is flying from Dawson Miller. The round's still about 1 second separating Elwood and Weishart. Gotta look back. It's about the same, maybe a little more between Ricky Harden and Colin Fambro, although Fambro still under attack from Danny Ware in the 18 car for that top 10 spot. Like they are by about 2 car lengths from each other. Coveted points, those top 10 is. There is the 33 of Weishart and Bryce Senesac closing in on the 33 as Weishart's trying to close in on the 49. So we could have a shuffling of not only 1, but maybe 2 podium positions. And then right up there, just going through turn one, is Cameron Hearn. He might have something for this group right here, second, third, and fourth.
Perhaps.
Gary Lewis has just put once more. He's going to get back to second by the end of this. Well, he's got less than 4 laps left, so it could happen. Anywhere has now moved into the 10th spot over Colin Fambro. Those two were jousting a few moments ago, and 09 closing in right on the bumper of the... Oh, he actually just messed up through there.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Hearn is now... Ooh.
He's behind Sinisak by a second.
I would say that mistake from the 09 of Sinisak, he might have wheel hopped it there going through turn 11. Cameron Hearn now 1 second behind the 09. There's the on board of the 67. Let's ride on board with him through a lap of COTA. Jacob Bell has just cheered 100 bits to the channel. Shout out to the Jacob Bell as we continue to ride on board the 67 Hearn. Dawson Miller has also cheered 1 bit. Shout out to you, Dawson.
1 bit.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That's what Dawson's thinking right now.
Look at Cameron just continuing to move up as we got 3 laps to go, and he's within a couple car lengths of the 33.
Get Y through 11, then set himself up for potential move on the 33 of Y. So it might happen right here. It might not even have to wait until the braking zone. Gonna wait. Narrowly get into the back of Y right there.
Different in braking between the two of them.
Oh. Gary Lewis has donated 69 bits to the channel as Cameron Hearn moves into third. that is the car number that Gary Lewis runs. It might be his favorite number as well, but just the way it comes up in the chat is just a bunch of ones.
It was the, I thought he meant 67 bits. He added 2 extra?
He might have added 2 extra. Yeah, it did read 69 here.
Maybe he's cheering on the Cameron to 67 there.
He's repping his number. Gary Lewis reps the number 69 car. We're looking forward to him coming back. He had to take the last couple of weeks off from the Cup Series. Personal interest or conflicts with work get in the way sometimes. And it seems like in the next week or two, we'll see Gary Lewis coming back onto the track, whether it's at Nashville or Talladega. Well, he just confirmed it. He'll be back in Nashville no matter what. So
Okay. He's like, with or without a job, I'm coming back.
So we'll look forward to that this coming Monday.
He's talking to
You
Drew
guys-
Trader, telling me, put me in, coach. For 2 laps to go here, as we see Cameron has caught the back of Elwood, looking for that number 2 spot. Gary Lewis must have had a crystal ball in his hands.
And you know what? Jake just put it in the chat, and I was thinking the same way. I guess Cameron just wanted to have some fun. Pitted from second, and will probably still finish there. He is right on the bumper, closing in on Alan Elwood. No, if all goes well and he still finishes inside the top 3, I'm going to ask him that question, but I feel like we already know. I feel like I already know what the answer is going to be. It might be that answer, Jake. Cameron Hearn going around Elwood for the second spot, so pitting does pay off in some way for the 67 of Cameron Hearn as he works his way through the carousel section, and the 7 of Skyall, who's going to come around and pick up the white flag. So got one more time around COTA, presented by One to Go Studios, in just an absolutely dominating performance from that 7. To navigate one more time around COTA, goes through turn 1 and 2, and now going to go through the S's for the final time. Down turn 10 is going to go car load up into turn 11. He's got a big enough lead where he could probably coast coming out of the final corner. Final 2 corners even, and still win the race. Through the braking zone and into turn 12. Going to be the start of the stadium section. Around turn number 15, and is going to work his way through the carousel for the final time. Come out of the carousel and into the Ross Chastain punting turn before heading down the short chute into turn 20 for the final time. James Skyerly had a fast car on Monday night for the Cup Series. Couldn't quite come away with the W. But tonight's a different story. He comes off turn 20, takes the checker flag, and picks up win number 1 on the season for the Lodgebox Series. James Skyerly wins at COTA. Cameron Hearn, he pitted from second. He's going to come back and get second. Alan Elwood coming home P3 for the podium position. Then you got to go to, well, it looks like Bryce Senesac has taken over as 4th, and that's David Weisart coming down pit road. Not sure why, but the 33 comes down. He will finish 5th. The 09 of Bryce Senesac will finish 4th. We see the rest of the field swerve their way out of turn 20 and down the front stretch. See this carry into turn 1 from Gary Grant. So the number 7 comes home with the victory, Harold. You gotta say, quite an impressive win, and a good bit of the chat was rewarded by placing their bets on the 7.
Yep. That's all I have to say about that.
It seemed like it was the people's choice, and then everybody else put Beckner, and unfortunately his issue on lap 1 canceled those out. But see, also you turn your 10 points into 95. It is a good pickup there. If anyone put in their channel points on the number 7. And, you know, like we said, Monday night, it seemed like it was either going to be him or Nick Johnson going at it for the win. They elected to stay out before the competition caution. Jake Nichols elected to come down pit road along with Weishart. In the end, Nichols ended up getting the victory, and Gaioli and Johnston were left trying to gather themselves up through the field and into possibly a winning position, but it just could not happen, and Seven learned from that. Actually, he didn't, because he didn't pit before the competition caution, but nonetheless, he still had a fast enough car. He's going to work his way around turn 20 once more, and going to put on a little show for the fans here. So we'll go ahead and get your podium drivers up here in just a moment. Take a look at our Elwood Design race recap really quick. Skyoli led 26 of the 28 laps, with the other two only going to Chris Einfine. The stage caution. And Weishart with the fastest lap of 216.335. And we'll bring up his race-winning driver, James Skyoli, a dominating win for the number 7 car. Hunter and Harold in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, you make it look so easy out there. I mean, we said it Monday. You and Nick Johnson were up there going at it for the win. Couldn't quite get it. Jake Nichols kind of took it, but you took what you learned from Monday and transitioned it into tonight. Take us through your race and how the car felt.
Yeah, you know, this car, it compared to Monday, the Cup car had almost no fall off. So when I stayed out and pitted at the end of that competition caution there, I wasn't able to utilize the fresh tires and catch back up. So in this car, there is a ton of fall off, and there's no rear grip right from the get-go. So I took that into consideration. I was thinking about short pitting, but only a handful of guys did. It looks like just Chris there that stayed out at the stage. So I decided to take my chances with pitting there, and was just able to kind of keep the rear tires on it and just kind of drive away.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Einfine and Ryan Swan were the only two to come down pit road before the caution. For some reason, Ryan Swan came back down. Chris stayed out, and then he just missed it going into turn 1, and it was all over from there. Harold, any questions for our race winner, James?
Yeah, James, looks like based on your iRating, you do a little bit of road coursing with the pickup officials.
Yeah, sort of. Mainly just when the NASCAR cars are at the road courses, to be honest. Anything with downforce, I'm kind of not very good at driving. So cars that drive terrible and aren't made for the road courses, I can get around. But cars that are kind of purpose built for it, I'm not very good. So
Yeah, it's a different it's a totally different style of driving. I mean, you know, we're trying to cut the corners and ovals and stuff and try to arc the corners. When you do the road coursing, there's all about gearing, letting engine braking off the corners and chaining the turns and all that cool stuff.
yeah, definitely a different type of animal. And these things, you just can't slide the tires whatsoever. It's kind of like you're on ice out there. So you just got to be super careful.
You were indeed super careful, and you got your first win of the season in the Lodgebox series. Are there any shout-outs you would like to give out before you go?
Yeah, big thanks to Rick's Hot Sauce and Bill Weishart Esports for sticking with me. I know this one's been a long time coming. A lot of top fives, a lot of podiums, and we were finally able to get it done today, so I'm pretty happy about that. And thanks to you guys in the booth and everybody, all the admin team and everybody for letting us do this every week.
All right, James. Well, we'll let you go and celebrate the win. Congrats once again, and we'll see you next week in Nashville.
Thanks, guys.
That was James Skyoli there, race winner. And we'll bring up second place finisher Cameron Hearn. Cameron, Hunter, and Harold in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you.
He's back.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So
I almost gave your seat up to Brad Slaughter. I don't know if you heard that.
Brad Slaughter, David Weishart, those guys were making themselves a little too comfy in here. But
Yeah, I think I smell a little bit something differently in here since they've been in here.
it might have been from Weishart, who knows? But nonetheless, you still had top 5 speed, had potential race winning speed. Gotta ask, were you just wanting to have some fun and pitted in that last stint?
No, I stayed with James for the first 2 or 3 laps because I was driving it like I was qualifying, and I killed my tires. But I was thinking, well, if I burn my tires up, kind of break it in half and see what happens, because the tire fall for most people, everybody but James, was like 5 or 6 seconds slower. And I'm like, well, pit stop takes about 14 seconds. Going down pit lane takes about 15 seconds. So you should be able to make your way back up to second. And that's what happened. I gotten into I think Ricky Harden and the S's. He was on old tires and he was going a little bit different line than I was used to, seeing people do. So I got in the back of him. So I apologize for that. And I think he got in some other stuff, but I kind of sent him back there to get involved with it. So I feel bad about that. But all in all, needed a top 3, or top 5, finish. Being on the podium is pretty cool. I didn't expect to win, but I felt like I had a shot at second, and that's what we were able to do. So tonight's a victory in my book.
Indeed. And I asked that because Jake had put it in the chat just as I was thinking that, so I didn't know if that's what it was. But in the end, it worked out. You still got second. Harold, any questions for Cameron?
I don't know, Cameron. You've gotten it back in the podium. Is this gonna hopefully get you spurred past the bad luck you've been running in here lately?
Yeah, well, the good thing is you don't see too many lap down cars on this track, but yeah, a lot of that is situational. I put myself out there. I drive people aggressive and hard, and sometimes I should wait a little bit, but there's so many fast guys that I feel like if I wait or cost myself a quarter of a second or half a second over a long run, they might run me down. So some of that's on me. I put myself in some situations sometimes, trying to get everything I can out of it. And there's a lot of times I'm coming up on people that are battling other issues. They're trying to get around the track best they can, and then some guy comes up behind them unexpectedly. So a little bit's on me, but it's a teaching moment. Kind of what you need going into the playoffs.
Alrighty. Well, nonetheless, you pitted. You still got second, so it worked out in the end. Any shout outs you'd like to give out before you go?
Yep, I wanted to thank Jacob Bell for a hell of a league. It has been a blast. A lot of guys, a lot of fast guys, as I always say. But James is probably one of the best road racers I've seen come through here. So it was cool to kind of watch his laps and seeing how smooth he is with stuff. Give a shout out for Team Elite Entertainment Gaming, CNC Logging. You guys for the broadcast. I think my mom and dad. I don't even know if my mom's watching, but I know for sure my dad's watching. So shout out to my dad. Just everybody shows up week in, week out. Appreciate everything you guys do. Broadcasts are great. Look forward to watching them tomorrow morning. And hats off to James on the win. He's been fast a lot, and it's cool to see him kind of dominate a race.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go and celebrate that second place finish. Have a good night.
You guys too. Thank you.
I think you might be a little caught off guard by all the fireworks in the background. So we'll have to look out for that. And we'll look for Alan Elwood here to be a threat in the playoffs as he continues to put together a solid run of finishes, coming home third place tonight. Hunter and Harold in the booth got a copy.
Got you guys.
All right. Well, I couldn't look at your qualifying lap because there were literally fireworks going off like right behind me, so I couldn't really do anything there. But apparently you didn't get a lap in qualifying. You had to start from around mid-pack to deep in the field. And you were the biggest mover of the race. I believe you started 15th or 16th, worked your way up to a podium finish. Talk about how your night was from driving deep in the field up to the top 3.
Well, first off, I'm going to say that I was not looking forward to this. This combination was really tough to drive. And not that I don't like a challenge, but this car and this track together just don't seem to really fit well. So, you had to make the best of it. And iRacing right off the bat gave me a challenge by causing me to drop from the server during the middle of my outlap on qualifying. So didn't get enough time to actually get a lap in, which was kind of a bummer. But started from the back and just kind of methodically worked the way through the field and It was definitely difficult, to say the least. Can't say that enough. But overall, like, this is kind of where I expected to finish, third to fifth. I know I didn't have anything for Scioli. That dude's a rocket on road courses. Cameron, Weishart, Bryce, a bunch of, quick guys up the front tonight. So to get a podium is good, and it gives me a little bit of confidence going into the Roval in the playoffs. Try to figure out, like, if I didn't win Homestead, how am I going to stack up at the Roval when we get to that cutoff? So a little bit of a test tonight to see where we're at.
That we do go to the Roval in the playoffs. It's the second race, so this is kind of a little warm up for those that are going for a championship to put together a solid road course run, and we'll look forward to that. Harold, any questions for Alan in the third place finish?
Alan, I made a mistake of calling your car Forrest Smith because he's got a similar paint scheme that he's ran before. So I have to apologize that, but I know you guys do put a lot of time in these paint schemes, and I know that's something you guys do. If somebody wants to get a paint scheme, where they want to go to?
Well, hit me up. I'm always available for requests. So, Elwood Designs, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, friends with me on Discord. Shoot me a message if you're looking for something. I had a different sponsor on tonight. I know I kind of flip around with different ones, but Life of a Sim Racer was on the car tonight. A buddy of mine that I've known for a long time. He started a sim racing podcast. Essentially, and it's on YouTube. You can find his channel there, Life of a Sim Racer. Just kind of going through, talking about his races and what he deals with in the league and where he races and stuff. So it's pretty interesting. I'm gonna give that a shout and a listen. But just no harm, no foul. I know when you're looking at these cars, they sometimes do look the same. So no biggie.
Any other shout outs you would like to give out before you go?
Yeah, like I said, Life of a Sim Racer, High Banks Podcast, Reaper Speed Lab, Roderick Racing Development, SimRap Market, everybody, Elwood Design Esports. Good run tonight all around. You guys up here in the booth for calling the race for us, and everybody in the admin tower. It's appreciate being able to race every week.
Well, we'll let you go and celebrate that third place finish. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Alan Elwood, and your podium drivers are James Skyerly, Cameron Hearn, and Alan Elwood. We'll go ahead and show you the rest of the finishing order here. So Bryce Senesac, P4. David Weishart coming home P5. Kind of an interesting one. Weishart went out on pit road before he crossed the checkered flag, and that allowed the 09 of Senesac to get in front of the 33. Richard Thomas, Garrett Grant, Davey Hendricks, Shane Therian, and Ricky Harden rounding out the top 10.
11th through 20th was Danny Weir, Colin Fambro, Ryan Swan, Matthew Rodriguez, and Robert Kenny. And 16th was Forrest Smith, Rick Christensen, 17th, Carter Coop, Adam Capps, and Chris Seidenfaden comes back in the 20th spot.
Rounding out the rest of the field, Jose Ruiz, 21st, Jacob Hudson, 22nd for the 22 car. Travis Beckner comes home 23rd after having to replace an engine from lap 1. Andrew Santo, 24th, and Jordan Martin gets credited with 25th, even though he did not make it to the grid for the initial start. Well, Harold, any final thoughts before we wrap it up from COTA and we head over to the Music City of Nashville?
We're going to get back to grassroots racing, small, tight turns, a lot of action directly in front of you at Nashville Super Speedway.
Yep, and that will be through. Oh, I need a drink here. Excuse me. So, Nashville will be going to for Monday night for the Elite Entertainment Cup Series, Tuesday night for the CNC Log and Truck Series, and then a week from tonight we'll be here for the Lodgebox Series at Nashville Super Speedway. All the races are on at 8:40 Eastern on the PREI Racing Twitch channel. And that's going to do it from everyone to make this possible. Executive producer Harold Dunner. I'm Hunter Sleppy saying so long. We'll see you in the Music City.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.